I've sold two multi-million dollar businesses, and here's my best advice for all of you guys that are building a business and gals that are building a business to essentially exit before you were gonna actually give it to anybody in your family. Now, the reason why I've sold mine, one, I was only 27. I sold that one for 3.5 million. It was strategically wiser to do that because me and my partner didn't know how to essentially grow it to the next level. And mentally, he was done with that business. He didn't want to be involved in it anymore, and I couldn't run it myself because I had two kids that were under the age of 3 and one on the way. There was no way I was going to be able to take on all that responsibility myself. So we sold that business, and then we had a restart period where we had to figure out what was next. So the next business we both really went all in on is real estate investing, and we built up a portfolio of a bunch of different assets, from apartments to land to vacation homes to townhouses to single family homes. And I think that's pretty much the gist of it. We didn't have any commercial buildings at the time, even though we did look into it. We didn't technically have an Airbnb, but we kind of did with the whole layout we had with a couple of our vacation homes. But anyways, so then we built up the real estate business essentially up until the point we ended up separating and then getting divorced. Now, for that transition, I essentially didn't want to give up the real estate at all because I wanted to keep it for our children. And he was just totally done with it. He wanted to, do his own thing. So essentially that put us in a bottleneck where I eventually had to say, you know what, the best forward motion for me is to just let go of the real estate and start my own venture from here on out. There was just a lot of complications. That could be for another video. So with that said, in both ways, one more like, yes, I want to sell it. The other one, not so much. In both ways, you have to realize there's going to be a period afterwards where you have to figure out what's next. And that could be the scariest time ever because your whole foundation is built on that. And for me, it was literally everything: savings, investments, my knowledge, like everything that I built. Because why am I building another one of these things essentially, and I can't build it the same way? So do I want to build it again, from nothing? It is possible, but most times you'll find out you cannot take the same path because of the market, because of your current, lifestyle conditions, other so many reasons. So, when you get to that point of selling a business, have something else in line so you're not struggling and feel pressure to be like, okay, what am I going to do now? What is the next big move? Actually think about it before you make such a huge decision.